Stonehenge. It's almost like you say the word and everybody goes, ooh, you know, mysterious rolls, these giant stones just standing out there for millennia. And we're still no closer to really knowing why they're there. I mean, it's not like the ancient Egyptians. They left us hieroglyphics, pretty much instruction manuals. But with Stonehenge, the stones themselves are pretty much all we've got. And one stone, well, let's just say it's been a real head scratcher. We're diving into the enigma of the altar stone, this key piece of the Stonehenge puzzle. And it's really only recently that it started to give up some of its secrets. You know how sometimes you just get a feeling about something? Like, it just calls to you? That's how I feel about Stonehenge. Picture this, all right? Cool,
Yeah.
make a plane, hanging on Salisbury Plain, sun's out, got a nice breeze. And boom, there they are, these massive stones, just incredible, rough-hewn, quarried nearby. But then you look closer and you see them. Smaller stones, kind of a bluish tint, scattered around. The blue stones. And almost hidden among them is the altar stone. Now, this isn't just some random rock, you know. This thing's nearly twice the size of those other blue stones, and it's got this unique look to it. It's this gray-green sandstone. And for the longest time, nobody knew where it came from. I mean, we knew where the smaller blue stones came from.
Yet geologists had already traced those back to the Presley Hills in Wales. Rock types match perfectly. But the altar stone, that was a whole other story, a real mystery until, well, pretty recently, actually.
And that's where this whole thing takes a turn, a really fascinating one. Imagine you're a geologist, right? You've spent years on this stuff, and then you get an email. One email changes everything. And it's not from some big shot researcher, no. It's from a PhD student, Anthony Clark, over in Perth, Australia, Curtin University. And get this, he wasn't even studying Stonehenge. He was focused on, now get this, Australian mining practices. I mean, talk about a long shot. But here's the thing. His research involves some really, really cutting-edge geological dating techniques, the kind of stuff they've perfected down under, you know, finding gold and all that. And those techniques, as it turned out, were the key to the altar stone.
So Anthony's work, it involved analyzing these microscopic grains inside the stone. You could almost call it the stone's geological fingerprint. Tiny little time capsules. And by looking at these, they could figure out exactly where the stone came from with incredible accuracy.
It's mind-blowing what they can do with technology now, right? But, okay, so they had the fingerprint, they had the tech, but they still had to find a match. That meant comparing it to samples from all over the British Isles, like some giant game of Where's Waldo, but with rocks.
Oh, it was a massive undertaking, no doubt, meticulously comparing the altar stone's fingerprint to samples from everywhere, Ireland, the French coast, you name it. But what they found, well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, so they're looking for this match, right? This geological needle in a haystack. And where do they find it? Not England, not even Wales.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Northwest Scotland, to be precise. Over 700 kilometers from Stonehenge.
700 kilometers. Are you serious? That's like, what's that in American? Like 500 miles? That's insane.
It is pretty mind-boggling when you think about it. Imagine dragging a massive stone that distance with the technology they had back then.
Okay, hold on, back up a sec. For those of us who maybe weren't paying attention in history class, what exactly does Neolithic even mean?
Good point. Neolithic refers to a period in human history, roughly 10,000 years ago. It's when we see the first real signs of agriculture, settled communities, that sort of thing, villages popping up, people starting to farm, and of course building incredible monuments like Stonehenge.
Yeah. Right. So these Neolithic folks, they weren't just messing around. They were organized, they had skills, and they were definitely getting around, literally.
But why, though? Why go through all that for one stone, from that one specific place all the way to Stonehenge?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This discovery really throws a wrench in what we thought we knew about these people. It suggests a level of planning, of long-distance connection that we hadn't even considered.
700 kilometers with a giant rock. That's commitment.
No kidding. We're talking mountains, rivers, who knows what else they had to deal with. And remember, this wasn't just a one-off either. This discovery got researchers thinking about other Neolithic sites.
Like those stone circles up in, what is it, the Orkney Islands?
Exactly, the Orkneys. They're an archipelago off the north coast of Scotland. And they're home to a whole bunch of Neolithic sites. Stone circles, villages, even tombs.
All dating back to roughly the same time as Stonehenge.
So it's not just like a bunch of random stones, right? We're talking about a whole network of communities here, spread out over hundreds of miles. And they're sharing knowledge, beliefs, maybe even working together on huge projects like Stonehenge. It's like that altar stone journey wasn't just about moving a rock. It was about connecting with something way bigger.
Absolutely. And you know what this does for our understanding of the Neolithic period? It's huge. It challenges everything we thought we knew about these people, makes you realize just how sophisticated they were, how connected across these vast differences.
So the question is why? Why go to all that effort? Was it purely practical? Like, did they just need a big old stone and the Scottish one was, I don't know, the best they could find?
Well, that's always a possibility. But there's another side to this, a more symbolic one.
You mean like the stories, the beliefs?
Exactly. Imagine what kind of significance a stone brought from so far away might have held.
It's like it becomes more than just a stone then, right? It's like a relic.
Right, a physical embodiment of those connections, those beliefs.
And bringing it to Stonehenge, that would be a way of linking all these different communities together, creating a shared identity.
That's one way to think about it.
Man, it's like we're trying to decipher a conversation from 10,000 years ago. We can see what they left behind, the stones, the structures, but we're still figuring out what it all means.
And that's the beauty of archaeology, isn't it? Always more to learn.
I mean, think about it. Every time we think we've got a handle on the past, bam! Something like this pops up and throws everything for a loop.
It's humbling, really.
So next time you see a picture of Stonehenge, or maybe you're lucky enough to actually go there, take a second to think about that altar stone, that Scottish giant. Think about the journey it made, the people who moved it.
The world they lived in.
Because discoveries like this, they remind us that history is more than just dates and names in a textbook. It's a story.
A story that's still being written.
And who knows what other secrets are still out there, just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.